I didn't expect the truth to sound like silence. Not the kind of silence you get in an empty room, but the kind that falls over 200 people at once, when every illusion they believed suddenly dies in the same breath. That was the sound in the Bradford Hall ballroom the night my family finally broke. And I was the one holding the envelope that did it. My name is Mona Beller. I'm 27 years old, a newly graduated doctor, and for most of my adult life I believed love meant sacrifice. Tonight was supposed to be my twin sister Gabby's celebration. Her graduation. Her moment. Instead, it became the night my entire family's truth was read aloud in front of everyone we ever tried to impress. But before that night, there was a message. A simple text from my mother that changed everything. This is Gabby's night. Don't show up and embarrass this family. I stared at it for a long time. Not because it hurt, but because it didn't surprise me anymore. For years earlier, I was 23 and sitting in an anatomy lab at medical school, surrounded by the smell of antiseptic and exhaustion. That was when my mother first called me crying. "Mona, your father's cancer is back." Her voice broke halfway through the sentence. "They denied the insurance. We need $35,000 or they won't start treatment." The world doesn't pause when your life collapses. My professor was explaining nerve pathways in the background. Students were highlighting textbooks. And I was listening to my mother tell me my father was dying. I didn't ask questions. I didn't verify anything. I didn't think like a medical student. I thought like a daughter who was about to lose her father. Within hours, I sent her everything I had. $11,850. My entire savings. Then I took a private loan. $25,000 at 9.5% interest. High risk. No safety net. No second thoughts. Total sent. $36,850. My mother cried when she received it. "You saved your father's life." And I believed her. Because I wanted to. After that, my life stopped belonging to me. I worked 3 jobs while studying medicine. Phlebotomy at night. Tutoring in the mornings. Hospital cafeteria shifts on weekends. Sometimes I donated plasma just to afford groceries. My body stopped feeling like mine. My sleep disappeared. My grades dropped. My future narrowed into survival. And every month, $385 left my account automatically for a loan I thought was saving my father. But I never complained. Because I thought suffering had meaning. 9 months later, my sister Gabby had a wedding in Napa Valley. Not just a wedding, a luxury event. White roses. Vineyard estate. Designer dress. 200 guests. Over $31,000 spent on a celebration I wasn't even invited to attend. I remember seeing photos online while I was working a double shift in a hospital corridor. My hands were still stained with antiseptic. My phone screen showed champagne glasses and chandeliers. And my sister smiling like nothing in the world had ever been wrong. I told myself, at least Dad is alive. At least it was worth it. Then I found the first crack. Insurance records. Real ones. No $35,000 debt. No denied treatment. No emergency. My father's cancer treatment had been fully covered by union insurance. His total out-of-pocket cost? Less than $2,000. I remember sitting in my apartment staring at the screen until my vision blurred. Because I realized something worse than betrayal. There had never been a crisis. Only a story built to make me believe I was saving someone. Then came the wedding records. $31,200 in payments. Dress. Photographer. Flowers. Venue upgrades. All traced back to one source. My mother. And indirectly. My money. My loan. My sacrifice. My survival. Converted into a luxury event for my sister. That was the moment something inside me didn't break. It went quiet. And that silence turned into planning. For 4 years, I said nothing. I collected everything. Bank statements. Loan contracts. Fake insurance documents. Emails. Receipts. Screenshots. Even handwritten messages. Every piece of truth became a file. Every lie became evidence. I wasn't angry anymore. I was precise. And tonight, everything converged. The Bradford Hall ballroom looked like something out of a dream. Chandeliers. Marble floors. White floral arrangements designed to look effortless, but cost more than my first year of rent. Gabby's world. Not mine. I stood at the entrance holding a simple envelope. No invitation. No seat assigned to me. Just presence. Rachel, my sister's friend, noticed me first. You actually came. I wouldn't miss it, I said. And I meant it. Because I hadn't come for celebration. I had come for completion. My mother saw me. She froze. Then smiled too quickly. As if she could reset reality with facial expression alone. At the front of the room sat Douglas and Constance Bennett, wealthy, powerful, untouchable. My father stood nearby, proud and oblivious. He believed both his daughters had become doctors through hard work and sacrifice. He had no idea one of those sacrifices was manufactured. Then the MC spoke. Tonight, we celebrate Dr. Gabrielle Beller Bennett. Applause filled the room. Gabby stood glowing. And I watched her the way you watch someone standing on ice you already know will crack. The tradition was explained. Every gift would be opened publicly. Every card read aloud. No exceptions. Transparency. I almost laughed at the irony. Because tonight, transparency was about to become destruction. I placed my envelope on the table myself. Heavy. Intentional. The MC noticed. This one feels substantial. He opened it and began reading. Bank transfers. September 2021, $36,850 total. The room shifted. Confusion first. Then discomfort. Then silence. My father stood up. What loan? And that was the first real crack in the illusion. One by one, the documents were revealed. Fake insurance denial. Loan contracts. Wedding payments. Bank records. My name is attached to everything. And slowly, the truth assembled itself in front of 200 people like a verdict no one could avoid. My mother rushed forward. Stop this. But it was already too late. Because truth, once spoken publicly, doesn't need permission to exist. My father turned toward her. You told me I was dying? His voice broke. You used my cancer? That sentence ended their marriage before any legal document ever could. Not with noise. With realization. My sister was crying. I didn't know. And I believed her. But belief doesn't erase consequence. She still lived in the house built with my sacrifice. She still wore the dress bought with my debt. Ignorance doesn't undo impact. I stepped forward. Took the microphone. And for the first time in years, I didn't feel small. I didn't come here to destroy anything, I said. I came to return something that was never mine to carry. I looked at Gabby. I love you. You're my sister. But this story didn't start with you. Then my mother. You built a life for one daughter by dismantling another. No shouting. No revenge. Just truth. Clean. Final. Irreversible. Then I walked away. Because there was nothing left to argue with. Only consequences left to unfold. Outside, the air felt like waking up after a long coma. My phone exploded with messages. My father. My sister. Unknown numbers. Lawyers. Reporters. I didn't answer. Because for the first time in years, I didn't need to explain myself to survive. Everything collapsed quickly after that. My father filed for divorce. My mother lost her professional standing. The wedding world turned cold overnight. The story went public. But I stopped being part of the storm. I had already walked out of it. Months later, something unexpected happened. The loan was fully repaid. Not by obligation, but by choice. My sister and her husband transferred the remaining balance. Then they created something else. A fund in my name. For medical students facing financial crises. People like me. People who are told that sacrifice is the only option. I didn't forgive everything. But I understood something deeper than forgiveness. Some truths don't heal families. They reveal them. My father moved into a smaller apartment. Started therapy. Slowly rebuilt his life. My sister and I began speaking again. Carefully. Fragilely. Honestly. My mother became silent in my life. Not hate. Not forgiveness. Just absence. I matched into emergency medicine at Johns Hopkins. A new city. A new life. A new version of myself that didn't measure survival in sacrifice. My paycheck no longer disappeared into someone else's story. It stayed with me. For the first time, my life was mine in full. Sometimes I think about that night. Not the exposure. Not the silence. But the moment I realized something irreversible. I had spent years trying to save a family that only knew how to take from me. And I survived anyway. Because survival isn't loud. It doesn't always look like victory. Sometimes it just looks like walking away from the room that keeps breaking you. If you've ever been trapped in guilt that wasn't yours, if you've ever paid for love with pieces of yourself, you already know the truth. You don't owe your life to people who lie about needing it. My name is Mona Beller, and I am not surviving that story anymore. I am living past it.